What Do You Do? The podcast that explores various occupations and industries and arms you with information about what that position entails and how someone gets that job. This show is for anyone who's ready for a career change or who's just entering the workforce. What will we discover today? Lean in and enjoy the show with your host, Chris.
Welcome to What Do You Do? The Career Podcast, Episode 9. In this episode, I speak to Parker, who is a manager for an escape room. There's a chain of them, and he works at one location, and his location has several different themes for rooms. Escape rooms are kind of growing in popularity. They were real big in Europe and Japan, and are just now getting over here to the U.S. There's some up here by me in Ocean City, Maryland. And it's a lot of fun. I first saw them on the Conan O'Brian show, where him and Jordan Schlansky go to one and try to escape. Check it out on YouTube. It's pretty good. Let's see, what else? We are now on still, we haven't kicked off yet, of iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Podcast, TuneIn. You can go to our website, which is whatdoyoudopodcast.com, and look around, listen to episodes, learn more about the show. And also subscribe to the RSS feed if you're into that. Otherwise, just subscribe to the show on the app that you're listening to. Anyways, let's go ahead and make it happen. On the interview. Hey, Parker, how you doing?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, so I'm here with Parker. He is he works for an escape room. The escape rooms are a new attraction that's popping up across the United States. They're pretty big in Europe and in Asia, and I saw them on TV, and that's how I learned about them. And I was wondering, Parker, if you could give us a little bit more information on what an escape room actually is.
Yes, of course. So, like you said, they've been huge in European, Asian countries for the last 10 to 15 years. But they've just started popping up here in the States within the last 3 to 4 years, perhaps. And it's really a novel concept. It's something different to do with your friends on a weekend night. We'll basically take you and lock you in a room for an hour. And you have to find all the clues and solve all the puzzles and escape. And it's far from easy. Our easiest room has a success rate of about 33%, which means 1 in every 3 groups gets out. And our most difficult room has a success rate of about 10%. So 1 in every 10 groups gets out. But it's a great team building exercise. And it's a great way to promote out of the box thinking. And it really makes you feel like a kid again when you're in there and discovering these things.
Huh. What I saw online that some of these rooms have themes. What are some of the themes that you guys work with?
Yes, the themes are very important. We have 5 themes, 5 different rooms right now. One of our rooms is a military themed. It's like a 20th century war themed, where you're trying to break into a bunker and let the neighboring city know that an enemy fleet of ships is coming to bomb them. So you have to break into the bunker and send a distress signal. Another one of our themes is a time travel theme. It's called Lost in Time. And that's where you are going to see your grandfather's time machine. That's the story behind it. And then your grandfather's blumbering assistant accidentally starts the time machine, and you get thrusted through time. And it's up to you to find the tachyon accelerators to get back before the time machine runs out of power.
I assume flux capacitor was copyrighted?
Yes. There are some not so subtle hints to Back to the Future in that room, for sure. The protagonist that gives you the clues and sets you up, his name is Marvin McFlew.
Oh, nice.
Right. So it doesn't take a huge stretch of the imagination to see where that came from.
Do you have any zombie ones?
We have, so at my location, we have a laboratory themed one called Outbreak Find the Cure, which used to be called Escape the Zombie Virus. but they changed the name when they opened up a zombie room in a different location to avoid confusion. So at my location, we have like a laboratory themed one where you're trying to find a cure for a breakout virus without using the word zombie. But then at another location, there is a zombie run where it's basically mimicking a zombie apocalypse where you're trying to find your way to safety.
How do you guys come up with a puzzle that they have to solve?
It's our design team that does it, and they are so brilliant. A lot of our designers come from theater backgrounds. They have a lot of background in set design, and so they're used to building a scene. And some of our designers have a background in haunted houses, which, if you think about it, is really kind of the same thing. It's just instead of trying to scare people, we're trying to give them puzzles to solve. Mm-hmm. But our design team is insanely talented, and I'm always in awe of what they come up with.
Kind of reminds me of Saw a little bit. It sounds like
it is a little bit like Saw. The game masters who are my employees. They're the ones that watch people go through these rooms and provide them with hints whenever they get stuck. They oftentimes equate their experience to a Saw-esque thing.
That would be hard because if you I'm sure they've been through the same puzzle several times, so they know the answers. It's right there, and then here's the person right in front of it, right?
Yeah, the game masters know these rooms like the back of their effing hands. They know them so well. And the hardest thing about being a game master is when you see a group completely barking up the wrong tree, but you can't give them a clue until they ask for it. That's something that we do at my escape room is all clues are solicited. We will not give you a clue until you ask for it, because really the most annoying thing is having somebody give you the solution to a puzzle that you're trying to figure out yourself before you're ready for the solution.
Kind of like a spoiler with a TV show, I would guesstimate. Like Game of Thrones, I saw the spoilers online. I didn't want to hear it yet, but I saw it.
Exactly. And I tell every group before they come in, it's my responsibility as a manager to give them like a little speech about our rules and how things work. And one of the things I say is we'll provide you with 4 hints, but the hints have to be consensual. Like if one person says, "I'd like a hint, please," and another person says, "No, let's not use the hint. Let's figure this out ourselves," the game masters will always side with the person that doesn't want the hint.
Gotcha.
And not
so. Like, are the game masters, do they play any roles? So, like, if you're in, like the outbreak room, would they play a role of a scientist there or something? Or are they just kind of just a nondescript person in the room?
They do play a role. It's a short role, but in every room there is a little bit of acting involved. So for the outbreak room, for the laboratory room, they bring you in, they give you out your visitor badges, which are these little just, quaint necklaces that they wear. And they say that, thank you for coming to tour the laboratory. The doctor will be here in a second. Nothing's ever gone wrong here, but if anything ever would go wrong here, the doors would lock down and nobody would be allowed in or out. And that it's a very quick, but it's a kind of almost hokey sometimes, but it's a little context of what you're trying to escape from.
Kind of sounds like back in the day, if you were like at in my mind, I see it as like the Jaws ride in like Disney World, MGM Studios, how they're playing these roles, and it's really hokey with like their little fake grenade launchers and stuff. But at the same time, it kind of sucks you in even more. So
exactly, it is really hokey, but at the same time, it's super fun. And I've had so many guests tell me that they like our escape room better because the game masters will wear costumes and play that role. As hokey as it is, and as short-lived as it is, it only takes a couple of minutes to give them that little story. They enjoy it, and they enjoy having a reason to escape.
Is there? Do you guys take pictures of them afterwards? I saw. So you have like you won pictures, but then like if you lost, like kind of like the shaming pictures of like, oh, we lost.
Yes, we have like plaques for them to hold, I guess. And we do have winning plaques and We don't call them losing plaques. We call them non-winning plaques. They can hold up.
Everybody wins.
But I'll tell you, it's funny. So many people come out so salty that they didn't win, and they're so upset that they didn't escape the room, not even paying attention to how low the escape rates are, and they're so upset that they don't even want to take pictures.
And there probably is that one or two people that they're going to blame for not passing the room.
Yeah, and it's not even the people in their group. You know who they blame? They blame the game master.
Oh, man.
That's who they blame. And, they say I got bad hints or I got hints at the incorrect time. But more often than not, they just think it was a bad hint, but really it was the exact hint they needed. They just thought they had already done it when they hadn't.
Do you guys tell them the answer after the fact?
We like to do that. The only problem is that, on a very busy day, so they have 1 hour to escape the room. And then we have 15 minutes to reset the room for the next group. So once they get out, if they spend 15 minutes asking us questions, we're in a pickle because the room is destroyed and it's time for the next group to start. So what I tell my game masters to do is when they go in after the group did not complete it, to say, hey, do you guys have like 1 or 2 questions really quick? I can answer for you. I don't have time to go through the whole puzzle, but I can answer 1 or 2. And we'll do that for them. But no, we do not have time to go through the whole puzzle with them because we have to get it ready for the next group.
Is there several puzzles for one room?
Oh, my gosh.
So if the same group came in, it won't be the same each time they go in?
So the rooms basically would be the same each time you went in. Every now and then we make small changes to the rooms, but for the most part, if you ever played Sorcerer's Secret, it would be the same as the next time you played Sorcerer's Secret.
But you guys have a pretty wide variety of different rooms, so you go several times and have a different experience each time with a different room each time.
Oh, yeah. At the time we're recording this, we have 5 different rooms, but in the next couple of weeks, we'll be opening our 6th room. So if you go and are unable to escape from your first room, you can come back a couple days later and try another one of our rooms.
Huh. You had some story. You said you had people that were salty and upset afterwards. Can you think of any particular story, maybe offhand, being very nondescript of a funny situation?
So there's one situation. I've actually got 2 stories I can share with you.
All right.
But the first story, this is my favorite. I had I started working here very early in January. Mm-hmm. So come February 14th, I was pretty well adjusted. I was part of the team and everything was great. So on February the 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, I had 2 guys. They looked to be about my age, so I guess I would say 26, 27. They showed up to play a room. It was just them. They were in the room by themselves. They did not escape, but, they did the best they could. And once the time ran out and the game master went in there, they said, do you have any questions? And they had a lot of questions. They wanted to know everything that we were willing to tell them about the room. Which, we gave them as much as we could, but like I said, we have to get the room ready for the next group. Anyway, the next day, February the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, those 2 guys showed up at the escape room to play the same room, only they had brought dates. And they did not tell their dates that they were there the day before. And they went into the same room, and all of a sudden, they're just brilliant when it comes to solving puzzles. And they did escape the room the second time, so I give them that, and I'm sure their dates were very impressed.
That's funny.
It was very funny for the staff because, I saw them the first time they came, and I saw them the next day, and I was like, wait, did you just play this? Oh, I see.
I got it.
You brought a lady friend. All right, good for you.
That's actually kind of a genius thing to do. Kind of scope it out, understand how it works, and you look smart.
Right, make yourself look like the hero.
Back in my day, we played laser tag, and there's no really cheating that one out. Either you're good at it or you're bad at it.
Right, there's no cheating out laser tag.
So I have to say that's probably one of the most memorable things you've had in this job so far would be that event.
It would be that, or I had another thing that happened. This is just like a week ago. So we get a lot of corporate groups during the week, corporations that want to do like team building exercises, and synergize with their team. And that's all well and good. But, when they book their room on our website, we have no way to know that they're a corporate group that wants the whole room to themselves for a team building exercise. So we had this group. This happened like 4 days ago. And there was 8 of them, and they booked 8 spots in a 10-person room for a team building exercise. But another 2 people, just 2 random people that were trying to play an escape room, booked the other 2 spots. And it seemed fine when it was going on, but we got 2 negative reviews. And the first negative review said, "We were a corporate group and we had a very good time, but we got placed with 2 random people and we didn't like that." And the second negative review said, "Well, we're 2 random people and we had a good time, but we got placed with a corporate group and we didn't like that." So it was...
That sounds that'd been kind of an awkward situation.
It was a very awkward situation, yeah.
I remember I was playing paintball one time, and the local sheriff's department was there as like a team building exercise playing paintball. So here I am. I was probably, I don't know, 12 years old, maybe 12 or 13 with my friends, thinking we're, all that. Walk in, sheriff's department, SWAT team's there.
Ooh.
So playing paintball, I mean, we didn't last. There's one they had, it was called like house assault. And you had this little house, and you had to defend it. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, it was over before I even knew it began. I was hit and in pain walking out the door. And, I mean, for them, they had a blast because they're shooting these kids and they're allowed to, But I think that, I think team building like that is a really cool thing, because in the escape room, it seems like your brain, in a corporate environment, your brain's working one way. So if you're in an escape room, your brain's having to work a different way now.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for team building, that's a great thing. And I guess from my point of view, it'd be great to see them afterwards. Again, are you gonna have them mad at one person or 2 person? Like, "Oh, you did it again, Jerry. You didn't do it.
Stupid Jerry.
Why, Steve? You scumbag." So you did the corporate events. I hate saying it, but like, do you do that kids' birthdays too?
We do kids' birthdays, and it's something that's very profitable for us, but it's also problematic because we'll have a 12-person room, okay? And on a Saturday, 10 spots will be booked for a 13-year-old's birthday party, but then the other 2 spots will be booked by 2 people like my age, like, 27, 28, and they'll be in a room with 10, 13-year-old girls, and yes, it's problematic. That's the biggest issue we're facing right now, is that, we can't have everybody get their own private room, because if you have a group of 3 in a 10-person room, it doesn't make any sense to let you have the whole room when
you're losing money at that point.
We're losing money at that point, exactly. But there's also those few times where uncompatible groups end up together, and that's when it's like 10, 12-year-olds and a 34-year-old couple.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest problems we're dealing with right now, and we're trying to figure out a solution, but it's not easy, really.
Yeah. Huh. What's one of the least things about the job that you just don't like?
Well, that's hard to answer because I really like the job. I guess what I dislike the most is that some people come out really salty that they didn't escape the room. Even though I tell them before they go in that the room has like a 10 or 12% escape rate, they should come to terms with the fact they might not escape. But they come out really upset that they didn't escape. And, that's not our fault. Like, be smarter, I guess.
Yeah.
But they take it out on us. And we've even gotten bad reviews sometimes. For such a new business like we are, reviews, like social network reviews, make or break us. And when we get a bad review, it's a big deal. And sometimes we'll get a bad review that just says, "Oh, we didn't get out, and it was stupid." And I'm like, well, maybe that's not our fault.
Yeah. No, I could see, like, hey, I'm a 30-year-old man. Well, I could see, hey, we had a party of, a whole bunch of little girls, and you put a 30-year-old man in there. That makes sense for, like, I could see kind of like a neutral review for that. But, like, just say, I couldn't figure it out. You guys are stupid. Negative comments, I'm going to Yelp you.
Right. And it'll be like they'll have like a lock and they'll think they have the right combination. And it'll be like, "Oh, the lock was broken. I had the right combination and it didn't work." And then we watch their video and it's like, well, you think you had the right combination, but it didn't work because you did not have the right combination.
Is like the video that you guys see, is it closed to just you guys? I mean, they can't buy it as like a souvenir or anything?
They cannot buy it. That would be awesome, but because, we only have 5 rooms, once we put a video of one room out on the internet, anyone that watched it wouldn't be able to play that room anymore. They would just know all the answers. So yes, the videos are very closed. We're very strict about people taking pictures and videos inside the room.
I gotcha. It's definitely cool. It seems like a fun new event. I mean, when I was younger, it was arcades, putt-putt golf, laser tag. It's kind of one of those things I wish that we had back then. It would have been fun with all my friends, go do that. Kind of just think a little bit harder. And then, I mean, even like those 2 guys did, that's a great date thing.
Yeah.
For, I guess, team building. And I guess for a date, you could see how they handle, under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And their kind of, thought pattern. But man, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk to me about this, and opening up a little bit more about the escape rooms, and hope to see that business grow a little bit.
It's doing really well in America right now. My company is opening up 3 different locations in the next 4 months. It's going really well right now.
I mean, it seems like you could do very well no matter, if you would target like, the popular beach locations, tourists alone eat that up all day long for, an activity. And then you have all your corporate stuff to do on it. Mm-hmm. As long as you can manage your time and make sure the rooms are full, it seems like it'd be a very fun time.
Exactly. And it really is a blast. It makes you feel like a kid again. I recommend escape rooms to everybody. Even if you don't come to one of mine, it's a really good time.
Just do it.
Exactly.
All right, Parker, man, I really appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening in today, and be sure to subscribe to the show so you don't miss that one episode that can change your career path. We're passionate about sharing all the possibilities of occupations out there, and we'd like to keep moving full steam ahead. Consider becoming a patron of the show and go to patreon.com/whatdoyoudopodcast to see how you can support the show.